Hello students, welcome to the lesson 10 of the chapter 3 from the subject Advanced Structural Analysis. So in this lesson onwards, we'll start solving problems from the flexibility matrix method. Okay, so that's nothing but flexibility transformation approach. So this is the first problem of beam. So this is a problem given to us. It's a two span AB and BC. Both span has a different EI. One has a UDM and one has an eccentric loading. So they'll ask us to analyze the beam and draw the SFB and BMB. Now, the first step is to find the degree of redundancy. So step 1 is what? DOR, degree of redundancy. Now, one important thing you have to note is in beams, if there is no horizontal loading given, you don't have to take the horizontal reaction into consideration. Also, the equilibrium equation related to horizontal will not exist. Okay, so in that case, how many unknowns here? We have only two. What are those? VA and MA. Coming here, we'll have BB and MB, two unknowns. Coming here, again two unknowns, that's your VC and MC. So totally how many unknowns? 6. How many equation of equilibrium will we have? 3. How will this be 3 is, we have summation V equal to 0, summation M equal to 0, summation H will not be there, but sum of moment about B will be equal to 0 because it is a intermediate support. Okay, so 3. So how much will it be? 3. So the degree of redundancy in this particular case is 3. Okay, see, unless specified, it is always easy to take moments as your redundance. Okay, so in this type, that's your type 1, what will we do is we'll take, so in the type 1 we'll take moments as the redundance, that's your MA, MB and MC. Okay, so yes, take step 2 will be what? Step 2 is to choose your redundance, which we have chosen here, and draw the basic determinate structure. BDS is called as basic determinate structures. Right, so how will your basic determinate structure look? This becomes fixed, simple support, and simple. A, B and C. Okay, so this is your basic determinate structure. Right, once you're done with the basic determinate structure, what you have to do, you have to assign your directions to your redundance. So assign directions to redundance. So how will you do? You put your basic determinate structure, call this A, B, C. So what are your redundants? You have 3 redundants, MA, MB and MC. So MA, MB and MC. So these are your redundants. So call this x1, we'll call this x2 and we'll call this x3. Okay, one more important thing I want to tell, this x2. So how will you put the redundants? Be very careful. So here we'll have 1, that's your x1. Here we'll have 1. So you should put it in 2 directions, but this is at same point B. So this is your x2 and coming to this is your x3. See, directions however you want, you can assume. So these are your global coordinates. There's no hard and fast rule that you have to assume in the direction what I have done. Okay, so this is your step 3. Then coming to your next step, which your step 4 is to assign directions to local coordinates. So each member will have 2 local coordinates. This is your B. So your local coordinates will be in which directions? So like this, coming here it is like this and like this. So call this 1, 2, 3, okay, 4. So same like you do in your stiffness matrix method. So these are your local coordinates. So once you're done with your local coordinates, what you have to do, you have to assign your W coordinates. This is an extra step what you have in your flexibility matrix method. So assign directions to W coordinates. Now if there are only moments, your W coordinate also will be only moments. But if there is any vertical reaction in your global coordinate, you need to even consider vertical reaction in the W coordinate. Okay, so that's very important. So whatever is the direction given to local coordinate, assume in the same direction your W coordinates. Okay, so this is how you will assume. This is W1, W2, W3 and W4. So these are what? W coordinates, right? Once you're done with your W coordinate assignment, you have to calculate what? Step 6 is what? Your FEMs. Here only moments are there, so you need to find only moments. You don't have to find your normal reaction in this particular case. Okay, so FEM, what I'll do here, I need to actually take this. So here what we have an UDL of 16 kilonewton meter, and here we have eccentric point load of 54 kilonewton. This is 3 meters, this is 0.8 meters and 1.6 meters. So here we'll call this A, B, B and C. Now let me put the directions. So this will sag the beam loading. So we have to push it up. That will be your extend moment MAB. This will be your MBA. Coming here, this will be MBC and this will be MCB. Now we need to calculate the values. So this is UDL symmetric. So MAB will be equal to MBA and that will be equal to WL square by 12. So that's your 16 into 3 square by 12. You will get what? You will get 12 kilonewton meter. Right, coming here, what is MBC? That will be WAB square by L square. That's 54 into 0.8 into 1.6 whole square by 2.4 whole square. So this will come up to 19.2 kilonewton meter. Similarly, MCB will be WA square V by L square. So this will come up to 9.6 kilonewton meter. Okay, so once we are done with this, what are we doing next? Here no need to calculate reaction, as I told you. Now we have to do our step 7, that is our EQJLs. Very simple. Just change the direction of fixed 10 moments. You will get your EQJLs. So this is like this, here like this, here it's like this, and here it is like this. So this is 12 kilonewton meter, 12 kilonewton meter, 19.2 kilonewton meter, 9.6 kilonewton meter. Right, these are your EQJLs. Now what is the next step? Next step is to find your load matrix. Step 8, load matrix. One is PE and also W. For PE, what is this? Local into 1. You have to just see your EQJLs. So directly see this direction of EQJL and local coordinate are same. So everything will be positive. So you just have to write the values 12, 12, 19.2 and 9.6. Okay. Then comes the W matrix. For W matrix, it is W coordinate into 1. So here also this is 4 into 1. Here also this will be 4 into 1. But here we have to see EQJL and external load if any. Okay, if any external load is there at that particular point, you have to take them. Right, first of all, we'll write EQJLs 12, 12, 19.2 and 9.6. If you observe at A, B, C, nowhere there is any external load. So this PE and W will be same in this particular case. Okay, then is your step 9 where you have to find your element flexibility matrix. So what is your standard form of element flexibility matrix? That's your L by 6 EI 2 1 1 2. Okay, we're taking this. So your FAB will be what? L 3 by 6 EI is 4 EI into 2 1 1 2. So what will you get? 1 by EI into 0.25, 0.125, 0.125 and 0.25. Coming to your MBC, L is how much? 2.4 by 6 into 2.5 EI into 2112. So this will give us the values equal to 0.32, 0.16, 0.16 and 0.32. Now is your next step, which is step 10. What you'll do here, find the unassembled flexibility matrix. So how will you unassemble flexibility matrix look? You have to write your AB and BC in your diagonal fashion, and these will be outside. So this will be a 4 into 4 matrix. So 1 by EI is common. I'm writing it here. 0.25, 0.125, 0, 0, 0.125, 0.25, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.32, 0.16, 0, 0, 0.16 and 0.32. So this is your unassembled stiffness matrix. After that, what you have to do, this step is very, very important. That's your force transformation matrix, right? So what is force transformation matrix? B. This is equal to local into x plus w. So local coordinate is 4 here, x. Number of redundants, how many number of redundants we have? 3 plus 4. So it will be a 4 into 7 matrix. So be very careful. So 4 into 7, let's put it here. So first we have to write your x values. So how many x we have? x1, x2, x3. Alright, so initially x1 will be 1, next x2 will be 1, and here x3 will be 1. Right, here similarly w1 will be 1, w2 will be 1, w3 will be 1 and w4 will be 1. You have to see what is the effect on the local coordinate. So if x1 is 1, only local coordinate 1 will be affected. Coming to x2, 2 and 3 will be affected, and for x3 only 4 will be affected. Right, so 1 0 0 0, here 2 and 3 will be affected. Right, here only 4 will be affected. When it comes to w coordinates, for w1 1 will be affected, for w2 2 will be affected, for w3 3 will be affected, and for w4 4 will be affected. Rest all will be 0. So 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 and 0 0 0 1. When it has only moments, this is very easy to do. but if you get vertical reactions, it will be different. You have to be careful on that. So this is called Bx matrix and this is called Bw matrix. Okay, we'll need this further. Understood how to calculate your force transformation matrix? So once you're done with your force transformation matrix, your next step, that's your step 12, is to find what? Your global flexibility matrix F. So what is the formula for this? Bx transpose into your unassembled flexibility matrix into your Bx. So let me write it here. Bx transpose. So 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 1 into your F unassembled stiffness matrix 1 by EI into 0.25 0.125 0 0 0.125 0.25 0 0 0 0 0.32 0.16 0 0 0.16 and 0.32 into your Bx. Bx is 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 1. Okay. Now always multiply these two first. So this is a 3 into 4 matrix and this is a 4 into 4 matrix. This and this are same, so we will get a 3 into 4 matrix. So let me write it here. So you will get 1 by EI into 0.25 0.125 0 0 0.125 0.25 0.32 0.16, then 0 0 0.16 and 0.32. This should be multiplied by 1 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 0 1. So by now you all know how to do matrix multiplication, right? So this is a 3 into 4 matrix, this is a 4 into 3 matrix, this 4, this 4. So you will get F as a 3 into 3 matrix because there are 3 degree of redundancy, right? So what will be the value? 0 0.25, 0 0.125, 0, 0 0.125, 0 0.57, 0 0.16, 0, 0.16, 0.32. So it is a diagonally symmetric matrix, right? This is your F matrix. Then once you're done with your F matrix, step 12, that is your step 13, you have to do your F inverse. F inverse. So what is it? Adjoint A by determinant of A. If you take by determinant of A, if you take this as your A matrix, right? So you know the procedure of doing it. We have done many of the problems in your stiffness method. So I am directly writing the value for you. It's EI into 4.585 minus 1.17, 0.585 minus 1.17, 2.34 minus 1.17, 0.585 minus 1.17, and finally it's 3.7. So that's your step 13. Then moving on further, let us go for step 14, which is nothing but your FW, that's your Bx transpose into small f into your BW. We already know Bx transpose into f. What is that? This value, right? This into your BW. So we already have it into your BW. If you observe, BW is an identity matrix. Okay, so this is a 3 into 4 matrix, this is a 4 into 4 matrix, so you will get a 3 into 4 matrix. Since it's an identity matrix, whatever is there here will remain the same, right? So this is your BFW. So 0 0.25, 0 0.125, 0 and 0, 0 0.125, 0 0.25, 0 0.32, 0 0.16. 0, 0, 0.16 and 0.32. Understood? So this is your F matrix. So once you're done with your F matrix, what is the next step you'll do? Step 15. This is again an important step, that is you're finding the redundant X. So that's minus F inverse into FW into W. Okay. So this is flow FW into W. First let us do this, then multiply it with this F inverse. Okay. So what is your W matrix? We have, so it's 12, 12, 19.2 and 9.6. So this is a 3 into 4 matrix and this is a 4 into 1 matrix. So we'll get a 3 into 1 matrix. So what is that? We'll get 1 by EI into 4.5, 12.18, 6.144. So this is the 3 into 1 matrix multiplied by your minus F inverse. What is F inverse? 4.585 minus 1.17, 0.585 minus 1.17, 2.34 minus 1.17, 0.585 minus 1.17 and 0.7. So now this is a 3 into 3 matrix. Here are 3 and 3, so it will get a final 3 into 1 matrix minus 9.976, 16.04, 7 and 11.1147. Okay, so final answer will be 9.976, 16.047, 11.7. So what is this? This is your NA, NB, and NC. This is what we had assumed as x1, x2, x3, right? This is your x1, x2, and x3. Also, so this will be 9. Okay. So once you are done with your x, what you have to do in step 16, find your PF. So step 16, element forces. What your PF is equal to your Bx into x plus your Bw into W minus your PE. So what's your Bx? 10000000001 into your x, whatever you have got now, minus 9.976 minus 16.047 and minus 11.1147 plus the BW is an identity matrix, right, into your W. So your W is 12, 12, 19.2 and 9.6 minus your P is also same, 12, 12, 19.2 and 9.6. Okay, so this will be equal to minus 9.976 minus 16.047 minus 16.047 minus 11.1147. This is an identity matrix, so this will be what? 12, 12, 19.2, 9.6 minus again 12, 12, 19.2, 9.6. This is plus and minus, right? So your final PF will be 9.976 minus 16.047 minus 16.047 and minus 11.1147. Okay, this is your MAB, this is your MBA, MBC and MCB. Okay, now these are your final element forces. Now if we want to do step 17 is to calculate your BMD. So let's put that minus, so hogging, hogging, hogging and hogging, right? They will all hog the beam. So this is 9.976, 16.047, 16.047 and 11.1147. So this is 9, this is 16, this is 11. This is a bending moment because of your fixed end moments. 16.047 and 11.147 kilonewton meter, kilonewton meter and kilonewton meter. Now because of loading here it is WL square by 8, that's 16 into 3 square by 8. How much will it come up to? That's your 18 kilonewton meter. Here it is WAB by L. So 54 into 0.8 into 1.6 by 2.4. This is 28.8 kilometer meter. So here it is a UDL, parabola, 18 kilonewton meter, and here it is a point here. It will be linear. This is how much? 28.8 kilonewton meter. So this is a positive portion, right? And here this will be a negative portion, yellow. This is a negative portion. So this is your bending moment diagram. The same way, now you should also draw the shear force diagram, for which you have to find the reactions. Okay. Okay, now let's do the SFP. Right, let me call the reactions as RA, RB1, RB2 and RC. The loadings are here only on the top, so we can see and do it. So first let us take for the span AB. Okay, for span AB I am doing sum of vertical forces equal to 0, all upward forces positive. So what will it give? RA plus RB1 will be equal to 16 into 3. That's 48. Then you do sum of moment equal to 0, all clockwise forces positive. So minus 9.976 plus 16.047 plus 16 into 3 into 3 by 2 minus RB1 into 3 equal to 0. So your RB1 will be equal to 24 kilonewton. Substitute back here, you will get your RA, that's also 24 kilonewton. Then for the span BC, sum of vertical forces 0, all upward forces positive. So it will be RB2 plus RC will be equal to 54. Then do summation MB equal to 0, all clockwise forces positive. So that will give you minus 16.047 plus 11.114, 7 plus 54 into 0.8 minus your RC into 2.4 equal to 0. So that will give me RC equal to 15.94 kilo Newton. Substitute it here, you will get your RB 2. It's 38.05 kilo Newton. Now according to that, you draw your bending moment RA, how much? 24 upward. Okay, so 24, it's UDL. Here come here, RB1, 24 downward, then RB2 upward, 38.05 kilonewton. Here it's 24 kilonewton. This is also 24 kilonewton. And the last here, I think we have done some calculation error here. That's minus 9.976 plus 16.047 plus this will be 26 kilometer. Okay, this will be 22. This is 22. This is 26. Right, then here RC is 15.94. Okay, so this, there is a UDL here. So linear, the point load straight, then vertically down by 54, then join this. If you observe, 38.05 plus 15.94 will give you how much? 54. That should come here, that much. So this is your positive, so positive, this is your negative, and this is your negative. So this is your shear force diagram for this particular problem. Right, in the next lesson we'll solve the same problem, but here we have taken MA, MB and MC as redundants. So there we'll just change it and take different redundants and try to do the problem. Okay.